drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Op 'em, op 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em, drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll off 'em. Op 'em, op 'em.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Deas. It's been reported by numerous sources that Deontay Wilder is coming back on October 15th on pay-per-view to fight Robert Helenius. But according to JD's, that's not entirely accurate. We're going to take a look at comments that JD's made, and then we'll discuss it. So this is from World Boxing News. And it says Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius confirmation inaccurate. And that's a quote from Jay Deas. And then it states Deontay Wilder trainer and co-manager Jay Deas says reports of a done deal to fight Robert Helenius on October 15th are inaccurate. Deas spoke out following numerous statements in the press that the Finn would be in opposite corner of Deontay Wilder on that date. Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius. World Boxing News reported that Helenius is the last man standing from a short list of 3 after Adam Kalinowski and Charles Martin in both lost. Helenius remains a big favorite to get the green light to face Wilder. However, the date and confirmation need rubber stamping. Nothing's official, Deas told Tuscaloosa News. All I can really say at this point is that Deontay Wilder definitely wants to fight this fall, but nothing official has been announced. Nothing is accurate as of yet. Wilder returned to training for the first time in a year recently. The Bronze Bomber was spotted alongside Badu Jack and Michael Hunter. Now, here's something I want to point out. Robert Helenius is actually challenging the WBA because he's saying that he should be a mandatory for the winner of Joshua Usyk. And here's what he says: I am the rightful WBA mandatory, so of course I'm interested in the Usyk versus Joshua winner. Helenius told Sky Sports, I definitely should be next at this point. If we are not designated the mandatory after Usyk's next fight, we will only have one option. My lawyers are very confident that the WBA has bungled this whole thing, so I am confident in my position. For now, I will stay focused on training and see how Usyk versus Joshua and my WBA situation play out. So he's really trying to, I guess, get a shot at Usyk AJ. So that could be something that's, getting in the way of the Deontay Wilder Helenius fight. I'm turning over to you, Conspiracy. What's your reaction to JD saying that these reports are inaccurate? Helenius going after the WBA, trying to get mandatory status for Usyk Joshua winner. How do you see this playing out?
Well, this makes sense because if I was Helenius, I would not sign a contract for that Wilder fight if, in fact, I do have the mandatory slot for the WBA, right? It wouldn't make sense for me to sign on the line for a Wilder fight, and that might take me out of position for the mandatory slot against AJ or Usyk. So that makes sense, The only thing is like, so then who's Wilder gonna fight? Because I think it seems like everybody on that side is taken, right, with a fight. So who's because they need somebody that's not that much of a threat, because I'm pretty sure they want it to be pay-per-view. So it has to be a good enough name that the people could that PBC could sell to the people. Helenius was a good name because he had a good fight, against Kalinowski and everything, and so like they're like, hey, this guy, he's been it's the past 2 or 3 fights he's been winning, so like you could kind of sell that. He punches hard, he's tall like Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Like you could kind of sell that to the people where they're like, I would like to see Wilder. I'll pay to see that. You know what I mean? Like there's not too many of those under PBC that people are like, yeah, I would want to see Wilder fight, right? That Wilder hasn't already fought in. You know what I mean? Like all these other guys, I think on the PBC side, Wilder's already defeated. You know what I'm saying? So And nobody wants to see Wilder versus what's that dude named the old Cuban dude again?
Luis Ortiz. He's fighting Andy Ruiz anyway, September.
And then two guys,
my grandpa, yo.
Yeah, all of them are taken. So it's like Wilder needs Helenius, like more than Helenius needs Wilder at this point. You know what I mean?
He can have a rematch with the rejuvenated Chris Arreola.
I mean, I guess. I don't want to see that, but I guess. But like, how you
justify that? Arreola?
But think about how you justify that as a pay-per-view, though. That's why I mean,
the return to Wilder for the Wildettes, the return of their king, and he can go in there against, FA or the guy that just beat Adam Kanowski. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he can get Frank Sanchez, but that's risky.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to do it.
Frank Sanchez is risky. Those other two guys, FA and the guy that just beat Adam. You know what I'm saying? Wilder,
Oh yeah, you could throw him in there with the guy who just beat Adam, cuz.
It ain't nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody knows that dude for one.
Yeah,
that's no matter. He's there to get slaughtered anyway.
No, I agree. Yeah. No, I would rock with y'all if y'all saying just feed Wilder a random tune-up. But PBC is trying to make this a pay-per-view fight. So if it's a pay-per-view fight, it needs to be somebody.
Ruiz is the best candidate.
Ruiz got a fight in September.
That's what I'm saying. So who else other than Helenius could fill in for this fight? FA could be a good name, but FA's not signed to PBC.
Why do y'all want to keep? Why don't want to eat rice cakes in his comeback fight?
Ain't nothing wrong with jollof rice cakes, man. Ain't nothing wrong with jollof rice cakes.
I want all you FA people who come at me to go in the comment section and really tell me you think FA could beat Deontay Wilder. I dare you. I dare you.
I didn't say that.
I dare you.
Hey, listen, if they pay well, man, you can do a Bad Bloods fight. Call it Bad Blood, bruv, against Dillian White.
You know what I thought you were about to say, Trill?
But Trill, they're not going to do that. It's too, even though my man has a glass jaw.
No, Trill, you might be on to something with Gerald Big Baby Miller.
Wow, yep. That too.
Yeah, they not, you see, all of these options, I actually like what these brothers are saying. I don't agree because, again, this is Wilder coming off a loss. Not just a loss, a knockout. My man went to war. They are trying to build him back up. So they need somebody that they know is like, yeah, he's a threat. Yeah, this dude could knock Wilder out. But we're pretty confident Wilder's going to win. These names that y'all bringing up, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like, they not going to risk it. Al Heyman's not going to risk it unless, for one, we already know that person has to be signed to PBC because they're going to try to milk the loss or the victory of Wilder. So they're not going to give Bob or Eddie Hearn or anybody else the opportunity to capitalize off of a Deontay Wilder victory. That's outrageous. They're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Al's not stupid. So we need to come up with a name that's under PBC. Only person I could think of is Helenius. And I think F is a free agent, right? Or is he actually signed to
probably? It probably wouldn't be hard for Bob to give him that fight. That's like the kind of fight you make. So I don't have a good relationship.
Yeah, but I don't see them like doing the Sanchez fight. It's too risky. Wilder might lose that. You know what I'm saying? So even a Ruiz fight's too risky for Wilder. And thank goodness Ruiz has my man King Kong right now. But it's like, and Gerald Washington already got smashed by Wilder. Arreola already got smashed by Wilder. Like, bruh, Wilder needs Helenius. Helenius, my man, if I was Helenius' team, I'd be negotiating crazy. Like, Helenius about to get paid, bro.
He don't need him. You know what they need to do? They need to do what everyone else is doing and take advantage of Eddie. They need to go and get Wilder to fight with Babbage the Savage, okay? Wow, that's what they need to do. Get Wilder to fight Babbage the Savage.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. If I was Wilder, I'll be hitting up Chisora. I'm gonna be honest. I think Chisora is the best option right now. He has a strong chance of winning against Derek Chisora. You know what I mean? Derek Chisora has a huge fan base. Derek Chisora has a different market. There's a lot of things that is a benefit to Wilder. I don't see Wilder losing to Chisora. So if I was Wilder's team, I'm like, yo, Helenius, and it's like, yo, Helenius and Wilder are boys. I think Wilder will want Helenius to have that opportunity as the mandatory. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's probably like, yo, man, you do you, bro. Yo, good luck. I wish you all the best. Wilder needs to go overseas and fight Chisora. That's what he needs to do. You know what I mean? But until then, I'm just gonna have to say I'm not even mad at what JD is saying because it makes sense. Helenius, I'm not mad at you either. I wouldn't sign on.
Wilder never fought Bryant Jennings.
Yo, you see what I'm saying? We gotta come up with names that no one cares about.
Just I got names.
This is just a get back fight, though, G. And it's selling the pay-per-view of the fact that he's here for a while.
PBC, I'm telling you, I think Wilder, and this is rightfully so. Wilder he earned this right. Wilder's a pay-per-view fighter. I don't see Wilder doing free fights no more, right? And rightfully so. Yeah, at that level, Wilder, AJ, Usyk, Fury, these guys, their fights should be pay-per-view. But you can't give these people, you can't give the fans like BS. Like, people ain't gonna pay to watch Wilder just murder a bum. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be somebody where you're like, you know what? That seems entertaining. If it's just like, yo, we're gonna just give Wilder a random Uber driver. Come on, son. Like the dude that beat Kalinowski, right? Bruh, honestly, I'd rather see Wilder knock out Kalinowski. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the dude that beat Kalinowski ain't nobody. It's not like he was spectacular. He was basic, bro. And this is with all due respect. No disrespect. But it's like we know Wilder will murder a guy like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, can you actually justify?
So gee, man, you want a lot, man. This is just his comeback fight. If Wilder was really about that life,
I swear to goodness, it's not me. They're trying to. I promise you, I will rock with y'all if this was a free fight on Fox or Showtime. It's not gonna be a free fight. We gotta pay to watch Wilder fight. So they need somebody. Who's it gonna be? That's what I'm saying.
Ned, you said you got a list, right? What's your list, Ned?
Yo, I miss Wilder loading up the right hand, man. I miss the shotgun, yo. Boom, y'all. I miss it, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It was entertaining for boxing.
Oh, look at that. This is Wilder's number one hater, and he misses Wilder.
You know, sometimes you miss the hate. I miss hating.
But he miss hating.
I'm gonna be real. You know what I'm saying? Wilder come back, I'll be excited, y'all. I mean, like, I gotta see this. But one, Michael Hunter would be a good opponent. And then Michael Hunter just drawed with Jerry Forrest. So that'd be another opponent. My boy Christopher Lovejoy.
They don't want that smoke, man. They don't
want
that smoke. Gee, you telling me that those press conference wouldn't be big time? That's like a Rolly Romero type of press conference, dog.
For real.
God bless y'all, man. God bless
you. You're afraid that Lovejoy will spark out Wilder, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm shook to
He
death.
got a higher KO ratio. He got a higher KO ratio.
Yeah, high. We're gonna have to seek you, yo, because damn, G, come on now. Let me
yo, the battle for the best heavyweight in America, Chris Lovejoy and Deontay Wilder.
And the biggest one, Jared Big Baby Anderson. I thought y'all were gonna say Miller, which would be a nice fight too, but Anderson, like let him pass the courts if anything.
Hold on, what's his name again, man? What did you just say?
Jared Big Baby Anderson.
All right. I think you said Derek. I was like, what?
Jared Big Baby Anderson. Let him pass the torch to the young fella, like, and then be in his corner.
Let him pass the torch to the young fella. And you got Jared Big Baby Anderson winning that fight, Ned?
It's a tune-up fight. Why would Al Heyman give a victory to Bob like that? Like, yo, think about
man. Everybody say tune-up, but tune-ups be like sometimes to like be a misfire. It's here there.
Oh, I swear to God. we just watched. Last time Wilder was in the ring, we watched Wilder get murdered, bro. Murdered. Like
you watched Wilder get murdered. I knew that was gonna happen. You watched him get murdered. I was waiting for your reaction. Like, yeah, really? You pay? Okay. This your king? This your king?
All right, semantics. But anyway, so we all witnessed Wilder get violated by Tyson Fury, and this is coming from a Wilder fan. And we can all admit Tyson Fury put the pause on Wilder. And you would think his comeback fight that should be a tune-up should be Big Baby Anderson.
And that was my last option. But I was saying,
nah, Ned, stand on your soapbox. Yeah. Tyson Fury beat him up in sparring, sent that boy back to America. Yep. Why can't Deontay Wilder beat him?
Yep. And I just said it's just a passing of the torch fight. If Wilder win, Wilder keep moving. Wilder move. You ain't America's hero no more. Well, you ain't G's hero no more. It's Big Baby Anderson now. That was just for you. I was giving you saying that. Agree.
That's the torch that's being passed. That's the torch.
That's the torch. But I could stop liking Wilder and I could like Big Baby Anderson. You know, or more like a good fighter.
Y'all, you funny, man. You funny. You just a funny dude, man.
Yo, Trill, did you go?
Now we just all been just kicking it, man. JD's report. Why Wilder doing all this changing, but he won't change JD's? Get him out. I'm sorry. I don't know, man.
It's called loyalty, man.
Man, listen.
I ain't gonna say all that, but
he ain't had no loyalty for the man to try to save his life. You know what I'm saying? He got loyalty for the man that's telling him all the wrong things. That's diluted loyalty.
You know what I'm saying? Loyalty for the ref that called the fight to save his life.
You don't got no loyalty to Kenny the Crab.
But I mean, listen, Wilder. I honestly believe that Wilder needs a fight for confidence and a fight just to get the rust off and a fight. He doesn't need to go in there with no name. That's only going to be detrimental to Wilder. I think that he needs to go in there and get his confidence back and get a knockout because that's who Wilder was, the guy that was putting people on their butt. And I think he needs to go in there with a guy that we know that, basically, I think that people will come out and want to see this fight because they haven't seen him in a while. And just want to see it'll be a spectacle. You know what I'm saying? All the famous celebrities that come out just to show that love, because they once was supporting them heavy. And this will be the get back fight. Maybe after this get back fight, put him in there with a real name. But I think that he will go off. I think that this will he's really never been a numbers guy, but I think he would do well just off the strength of the love. From that last fight that he put on with Tyson Fury, he gained fans. You know what I'm saying? So people would love to see him, and I think that would do well just on the strength that people would love to see him. Even the TBE, the Wilder haters said he misses Wilder. There's people out there that really miss Deontay Wilder and want to see him in the ring. So I don't want you to underestimate the power of the people who really appreciate Deontay Wilder and what he has brought to the sport and the excitement that he brought to the sport. I think that's what he needs. He needs a knockout. And, they're not putting on and he's a name, so they're not giving us free fights no more. They're trying to rob us. They're trying to rob us.
I agree with you, Trill. And that's why I was like, but you still need a name to sell a pay-per-view for Wilder. I'm not paying $70 to watch him beat up on a Gerald Washington, bro. Like, who's gonna do that? That's like this might be the first time I'll bootleg a Wilder fight, bro. I feel like Ned. I'll be like, Gerald Washington.
They need to just put Gerald Washington on the undercard for me, please.
Yeah, they'll put in. I think the it's not into the actual fight. I think people are buying it for Wilder. You know what I'm saying? You're buying to see Wilder. You're not buying to see a good fight. You're buying just to see Wilder and support Wilder and see a fantastic knockout. And hopefully this man gets his confidence back. And I think after that, and this might be a WBC eliminator fight.
Might be. It's gonna be Trill.
It's gonna be.
It definitely is. It definitely is, especially if Fury vacates. Look, I honestly I don't necessarily care if he's fighting Robert Helenius or not. I think the greatest news was that he's back in the gym and he wants to fight again. So I think that that's the good news. Now, who's his opponent going to be? It's like people gonna nitpick anyway. Like the reality is Wilder wasn't fighting the best opponents before he fought Tyson Fury, and that never stopped him. Like before he fought Tyson Fury, he gave us the rematch that nobody asked for with Luis Ortiz. He was fighting Bermain Stavern again. Nobody wanted to see him fight Bermain again. He wasn't necessarily in there with the best. So I feel like you can sell the guy who beat Adam Kalinowski. I feel like you can sell some of these guys. You laugh at Chris Lovejoy, but Chris Lovejoy got something that you can't teach. That's the gift of gab. Like Chris Lovejoy got people watching him the same way Rolly got people watching him. Rolly, everywhere Rolly go, he's a star, bro. People running up on Rolly, asking to take pictures. They're asking Rolly what he thinks about things Rolly has no business discussing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just Rolly, what do you thoughts on this? Just because they want to get a reaction out of Rolly. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they want to laugh because he got like that personality. Chris Lovejoy got like that personality. And I think like people are missing the opportunity. Someone should sign Lovejoy, give him 3 easy fights where he wins and he talks that talk afterwards, and then feed him to like, your superstar. But that's still going to be a big fight. So I mean, it's funny now, yeah, but I think if you built Lovejoy up, he can give you a big event where people are going to want to see him get beat up. I think Otto Walling's a good option for Deontay Wilder. Now, Otto Walling's a really good boxer, but if Wilder knocks out Otto Wallin, a lot of people are going to give him credit for that. Dillian White pulled out of the fight with Otto Wallin. So he's there. There are a lot of fights, like you said, G, where people are tied up. Now, if he's going to wait for the winner, but then he shouldn't come back against the winner of Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz. To me, he needs a tune-up. This is my point. This is supposed to be a tune-up. Anybody upset with Wilder for who he chooses to come back against in his tune-up fight, they're the problem. PBC is going to make it a pay-per-view because PBC feels like they can make some money off of it. But I mean, all Wilder needs to do.
They have to. They're probably the purse for Wilder to fight is probably too expensive for them. Wilder has to be a pay-per-view fighter. Same thing with Tyson Fury. These dudes, they ask for too much money. You have to make it a pay-per-view fight. That's the only problem with this situation. That's why I was like, I agree with y'all, but nobody wants to pay to watch Wilder just randomly beat up on a random no-name person. And Al Heyman's not foolish enough to book Wilder against a Bob Arum fighter. Like, hey, you want to fight Wilder on his comeback fight where there's a chance you might really beat Wilder and we look stupid holding a defeated fighter? That's risky. I don't think Al's like Al. I don't know, man. I hear what y'all saying, but
Walling's not going to knock out Wilder. See, here's my thing. Wallin will outbox Wilder, but you and I both know outboxing Wilder isn't enough. And dude's been outboxing Wilder until they get hit with the right hand, then it's lights out. So I just don't think Wallin has like the power to knock out Wilder. So I feel like at some point in that fight, Wilder's going to hit him and it's going to be over. But Wallin will be winning on points probably when that happens.
Think about it like this, though. I hear what you're saying. 2 years ago, I would agree with you. But 2 years ago, I didn't think Tyson Fury had knockout power.
That's a different brother. We talking about a whole different kind of cat. I told you 2 years ago about Tyson Fury.
You know what I'm saying? The heavyweight division is upside down right now.
Listen, Otto Wallin gave Tyson Fury a tough fight, but he is no Tyson Fury.
You never know, man. You never know. Helenius could knock out Wilder right now.
I think Helenius is a bigger threat than Otto Wallin only because of his punching power. Mm-hmm. I think Otto Wallin's a threat in terms of great boxing skills. Like, he'll outpoint you, but he's not going to knock you out. I think Helenius, he'll knock you out. Like, so, I mean, I'll say this and then I'll close. Here's what I feel. I feel like, we talk about you need good fights for pay-per-view. Nah, you need a star, and then you can put anything on pay-per-view. Like Mike Tyson versus Peter McNeely was on pay-per-view. Mike Tyson versus a whole bunch of dudes was on pay-per-view. Why? Because everybody wanted to see Mike knock these guys out. And there's no way you could tell me Peter McNeely was an elite opponent. There's no way you could tell me some of these guys Mike Tyson fought on pay-per-view were elite. The selling point was come see Mike Tyson knock this guy out. And there were times, like you said, where Mike Tyson was supposed to knock a guy out, and he ended up beating Mike Tyson. So again, like Kevin McBride, for example. But the thing is, right? You have the star, and I think that's what they believe they have in Deontay Wilder. Is he the level of Mike Tyson? No, he's not. But what Deontay Wilder has going for him is, we talked about earning potential being the highest for Tyson Fury. I think earning potential for Deontay Wilder is the highest it's ever been. I think like his likability rating will probably be the highest it's ever been. Like his appreciation, like people wanting to see him again, will probably be the highest it's ever been. So I think that's why, like, they're saying, all right, let's put it on pay-per-view and see how he does. I think like even people who at one point really didn't like Wilder or who hated on Wilder,
Ned.
yeah, if you love boxing and you saw him fight Fury and give it everything he has, and you felt like he was exploiting the sport, I think a lot of people feel like Wilder was exploiting the sport, right? Like just trying to make a quick buck, knocking out people, not really learning the sport. But when you saw that trilogy, especially the way the trilogy ended, with all the excuses, because I don't condone the excuses. I don't condone trashing Mark Brillen. I don't condone any of that. But what I can say about Wilder is he backed it all up when he said, I'm willing to die in there. He backed it up. So, there's something to be said for that. And I think like a lot of people respect him a lot more than they did prior to the trilogy. So I think his stock is up. And I think like, people just want to see him in there and see if he's still Wilder.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.